Alan Castleman, Hickman Realty Group. I want to try and do a quick video about printing. I've had several people calling about printing and just a couple different ways to print. Remember, when you do a search, you're going to do it from quick search. Or maybe you know the address and you just go up here to the top bar and you actually key in an address, right? And find something that's active and click on it. But let's just say we've already done that. I'm going to click my Flex logo and I'm going to go, here's a little investment search. Okay, so I've narrowed it down. This is the search results. And I just want to print this. Now, you got to decide, are you printing it for yourself as an agent? Or are you printing it for your client? So it's two different ways. I mean, it's one way to print, but it's something you got to think about. For me, I like having the spreadsheet because I have laid out my columns to include the main things that I need to know: beds, baths, living area, price, of course, address, subdivision name, days on market, new construction, lot size. Of course, if I'm looking at acreage, that's important. So I'm okay with just printing this, right? Remember what this is. This is a list. This is detail. So this is a detailed report of the first house that's in the list. This is a detailed report of the second house. This is a detailed report of the third, and so and so. But if I just want the list, I can just select print list, okay? Also, remember, there are different reports. I'm back to detail again. So I'm looking at 98 Montclair, and what am I looking at? Well, I'm looking at the agent detail report, and if you go to report right here, it's actually the CTN, that's Central West Tennessee detail report. So this is, I believe, in our system, the default report. Now you can change that. You can make this the default report or this the default report. You can even create your own report. We'll talk about that in a minute. So if it's for me, I want the detailed report. I want all of the little writing and all of the little information. And of course, what I want is private remarks in case there's some good information in there that the agent's trying to make sure that I'm aware of. Also, I can see original list price. I can see the current list price. This one has dropped $10,000. So I want the full detail report, which is the CTN detail. But if I'm going to give this to my client, maybe I don't want to do that. Maybe I want the public version of this the CTN report. So here at the bottom, I can click public, and it's the same report, but it's just got less information on it. And it also puts my signature at the bottom. So now I've got something I can hand them, and it's got my information on the bottom, and it doesn't have the agent remarks and things like that. That's perfectly fine to give this to them. But I'm going to go back to private. Oh, actually, I want to show you one more thing under public. If you haven't looked at these flyers, I think these are really nice. They don't give you as much detail, but if you're going to have your client walk away with something, maybe you try the 5-picture view brochure. Still got beds and baths and living area and lot size and garage. It's got 3-car garage, the neighborhood, and then, of course, the price. And it does it in a much more aesthetically pleasing format. This is also a single page, so it makes it really nice. I can modify this page. That's under reports, custom reports. We're not doing that right now. We are just talking about the reports that are in here. Okay. But my point is, to print, we have to know what we're looking for. Are we looking for something for me, the agent, or for the customer? And do we want just the list, or do we want the full details? Okay. So I'm going to show you how to do both. I'm going to be on list. It really doesn't matter where you are. If you're on list or detail, you just go to the print button right here. You click on print. And what it's going to do is it's going to ask you, what do you want to print? You want to print the current listing that I was looking at, which I think was Montclair or something like that, or do I want to print all 6 of them that are on my list. Do I want the public or private? Who's it for? Is it for me or is it for my customer? So in this case, I want the private version. I want all the details. It's warning me, are you sure you want the private in case you're handing this to a customer? And then I told you I just wanted the list. It automatically is selected the detail. I believe you can actually default this one way or the other. But if you see, these are all the things you can print. You might not want to print photos, so don't select photos. Um, Print all photos for the listing, print primary only. Okay, that's kind of interesting. So I said for me, I wanted the list. All right. So I select list. It's got a few things to select. What view? Well, I'm using my custom view, which is Allen Residential. I set that up in my preferences. And that's what we were just looking at. I'm going to go back to that. This is Allen Residential View. These are the different views. If I go to the regular residential view that Flex gave us, this is what it looks like. There's nothing wrong with this. I personally don't like it. It doesn't have bathrooms. It doesn't have it does have garage. It doesn't have how many garage spaces. It's got subtype. It's just taking up room. So I went in and I customized and created my own view. This is the way I want it to print. This is what I like to see when I'm looking at the screen. It's also like what I like to see in my hand when I'm out with clients. So I'm going to go back. I'm going to hit print. And I'm going to do the private. It's going to warn me. And I am going to uncheck detail and I'm going to check list. I'm going to leave the view that I like, my residential in there. Okay. I could change it if I needed to. I could print the search criteria so I know how did I get to these 6 listings? If I want to see what those parameters are, so my customer asks, I could say, yeah, this is the results for this, and this, when I searched. I'm not going to do that, and then there's the one line, which remember on a spreadsheet, there's 1 line, 2 line, 3 line, 4 line. That's what I'm wanting. And I like word wrapping. Why do I like word wrapping? I want it to try and fit on one page. Let me show you. I'm going to uncheck word wrapping. I'm going to go down here and I'm going to hit preview. See how it says Edenwood Drive and Green Valley Estate? It's taking up a lot of width. Matter of fact, this is showing it twice. Not sure why it's showing it twice, but anyway. And look at this, bedrooms total. 3. Look how much wasted space this is, and it makes this report really wide. So if I do word wrapping, which is the way it defaults, and click preview, it tightens it up. So Edenwood Drive is in a much smaller block. The bedrooms are a smaller block because it word wrapped bedroom total and bathroom total. So it just makes it a little bit easier. Okay. So to answer the question, how do I print this list? I literally selected print, all results. I want which version, private or public. I want the list, and I left everything else default. If I want to change the font size, I can change it. Of course, when I do that, it's going to make the report larger. I can read it easier, but you got to be careful. You don't want to get too big or it won't print on one page. If I want to title this is John Smith. I'm not John Smith's tour. All right. Then when I preview it, you'll see John Smith's home tour. All right. So I'm going to click print. It's going to come up to my default. I can choose landscape or portrait. If you do portrait, as you see, it's cutting stuff off. It's not going to do what you want it to do. So I chose landscape and I'm good to go. I'm going to hit print and I've got this to go out on my trip or in my tour. So let's go back to search results and let's say, okay, I want to print out details, right? Well, I can do it from this list or the details tab. I'm still going to hit print and I'm just going to answer the questions differently. If this is for me, I want to do private, okay? And I don't necessarily want a checklist. I want exactly what's checked, the detail report, and I like the CTN full detail. I want all the goodies, right? Do I want to print documents? If you check this, every listing on yours will also print all of the associated docs. So be careful. If you got 15 on this list and there's full set of associated docs, you're going to be printing 100 plus pages pretty quick. So you might want to uncheck that unless you get down to one or two listings. Also, I don't need to print the map. I probably don't need to print which ones have open houses and stuff like that. But if you do, you can actually check it and say, I do want that. I want the listing history on this or the full detail history. But more than likely, I just want all 6 private, and I want the CTN report. I'm going to see what that looks like. Exactly what I expect it to. It looks just like the details tab. And there's another one, and there's another one. And all I got to do is hit print. Notice it's landscape on this one. I don't want to do that. I want portrait. It's designed to be one page. Okay. And I can click print, and I'm ready to go out and show 6 properties. Let's say I want both the list and the detail. All right, because I want the list for my truck so I can see where I'm going quickly, and I want the details to walk in with. You just check mark both boxes, and now I've got exactly what I just said. I've got the list page, and then I've got each individual page here, and I can click print. Let's just say I want, I've already printed my list off. Okay, I'm going to go back. Let's say I've already printed my list off, and I do want to print a couple of brochures for the client to have after we're done. So I'm going to click print, and I'm going to select all 6, and I'm going to do the public version, which is what it defaulted to. And I've decided they don't need a list. They want an actual report. I could do a pretty photo flyer, but these people are pretty detail oriented. I'm going to give them the full details without the agent remarks. And that's it, really. It's simple. I'm going to click preview. That's what it's going to look like. Except since it's the public version, at the bottom of each page that I print, they're going to have my face and my information. Going to look like that right there. Now I've got one of these that I can hand them at the end of each showing. Okay. So that is a quick way to learn how to print. You can print that from lists, or if you come up here and you select a listing and you just want to print this one listing, it works the same way. You just hit print, and what are you wanting? I want the detail report. I want the public version or the private version. And maybe on this one, I want the documents as well, because maybe they might want to be making an offer and they want to learn more about it. So I'm going to click preview. And on this one, I've got the details page. And if I'm patient, it'll download, and I'm ready to print all of the associated docs for this listing, including the listing. So that's it. That's printing in a nutshell. It's all done through this one button. After you click the button, you decide what you're wanting to print, how many, what listings, and you want public or private, and what are you wanting, the list or the detail or both.